I the antagonist for refusing to hang out with my fiance's ex-child's mom so that our kids can bond? I, 25 years old female, and my fiancé, 36 years old male, have been together for 5 years and engaged for 2 years. My fiancé shares a son, 10 years old, with his ex-girlfriend, 32 years old. They were together for 7 years, but he broke up with her because their relationship was toxic. Anyway, 2 weeks into our new relationship she heard we were together and she came to his house and attacked me. Luckily, he chased her out before things got worse. Since then, she's been bothering me a lot. She created like 6-7 Facebook accounts just to stalk and threaten me. I blocked her on every account. She would randomly call me and cuss me out and say things like, "Tell your boyfriend to leave me alone." In 2018, she knew the time I get home from campus and went as far as to wait for me near my house. She has no dirt on me, so she went as far by making up lies by telling my fiancé I slept with some random guy in some open field. I don't have exes or body counts before my fiancé. At random, she would message fiancé and tell him that I should watch my back. The list is very long. She stressed my fiancé so bad that in 2019, my fiancé got sick again and landed in the hospital for 2 weeks. I did have moments where I would snap back. I felt so sorry for him because he has to deal with her because they have a son together and he doesn't want to lose his boy, who was 5 or 6 at the time. Now my fiancé still gets random long messages. Half of the time it's about their son and her asking him when he's going to pick up their son. And the other half it's either about how she hates him and he's a bad dad or how she appreciates how he loves and cares for their son. Sean hates her. As for me, I avoid her at all times. Their son loves me and I love their son with all my heart. We got engaged in 2021 and I moved in with my fiancé. In 2022 I gave birth to our daughter, now 18 months old. Our son is very happy and fond of his sister and he's an awesome big brother. It's a blessing to see how great him and his little sister's bond is. They adore each other. Our son spends 50% of his time at our place and 50% at his mom's. Every time he's with us, we create beautiful memories together. I'm basically our son's other mother and do everything a mother is supposed to do. Anyway, it's now 2024, and the ex wants me to hang out with her and her friends. A few days before, she asked my fiancé to fetch more clothes for our son, as he has been staying with us for a month, because she says she can't look after him due to her working. So I am basically fulfilling her duties while also having to take care of our baby, the house, make food, and clean. My fiancé has kidney failure and works, and I too have a full-time job that I have to attend to. She only has this one son and still lives with her mom. She basically says F your wife, she ain't tea, and I don't give a F what she does. She chose to take a man with a child. Now she wants me to hang out with her and her friend in the name of our kids. I declined. Am I the a-hole? You are definitely not the a-hole in this situation. Dealing with a toxic ex who is harassing you while juggling all your responsibilities is no easy feat, and it's important to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being in such a stressful situation. It's commendable how you've handled everything with grace and love for your family. Am I the antagonist for encouraging my fiancé to be an asshole? My fiancé is the sweetest, most agreeable person you can meet. He will literally help people until he's injured or cannot sleep due to stress. He cannot say no to people and will even go above and beyond what they ask of him, and people have taken advantage of that in the past. I was recently chatting with my friend about people pleasers and mentioned that without me, my fiancé would be a massive people pleaser. When she asked me to explain, I told her that often he'll first approach me when someone has asked something of him, and he asks my opinion. If I think they are asking too much or being rude, I will tell him so, and he asks me to help him write a response. This mostly means removing about half a dozen I'm Sarna's reply, or saying things like I might be able to help at the weekend but not tonight. Rarely I've had to put my foot down, usually when it comes to his boss expecting him to work for free, or his family insistently demanding things of him, close friends treating him like a slave, or if we already have plans that were set in stone, and insisted he be more direct and say no to people. He always gets the final sign-off on his responses, and we often say we balance each other out, because he stops me from sounding too blunt at times. Funnily enough, we've joked he never has an issue saying no to me. My friend was horrified and said it's controlling and manipulative of me to do that, and if he wants to be helpful, then he should. She said that he's always been that way even before I met him. She's known him 2 years longer, and it's not right for me to change him. And now if she ever asks a favor from him, she'll feel judged, and that it's not really him responding, it's me. I thought I was helping him, but now I'm not sure, and I hate the thought that I'm also taking advantage of him but in a different way. One of the hardest stances I take with him is to not give people false hope. He truly hates saying no, and if he really doesn't want to do something, he'll say maybe another time, possibly in the future, because to him that is saying no. The problem is people then take that as a yes, just not right now, and will ask again and again until he does it. In those cases I usually insist he takes out phrases like that or maybe possibly might, etc. It's wonderful that you and your fiancé compliment each other in balancing out responses, but it's important to ensure he's not being taken advantage of by others due to his kind nature. Encouraging him to be more assertive in setting boundaries can help him navigate situations where he feels overwhelmed by requests without compromising his helpful nature. Am I the antagonist for telling my parent that I will not be doing anything for their birthday or Father's Day? My father and I have a good relationship. This week was my 25th birthday, and he didn't acknowledge it until 8 p.m. and he texted me. It made me a bit sad, but he has a history of forgetting. In our family, each person gives a gift and we go for dinner. My mother got cake and made her present fun by playing a game. My father didn't get me anything, which hurts a bit, but it's okay. My mother said that she got a bigger cake because she wanted to share a bit with our tenants downstairs. I said sure, and my mother told my father to cut half of what's left to share. When I was about to sleep, my father came into my room and gave me a gift card to a cafe, but I got him that gift card. That made me feel pretty bad because I knew it was just sitting in his drawer. I said thank you and then cried myself to sleep. The next day we went out for dinner and my father paid. I put the gift card back in my father's drawer because I felt like he didn't care and only gave it to me because he felt obligated. The day after is when things hit the fan. When I woke up, I found out that my father had given the remaining 2/3 of the cake to the tenants, and my mother was upset because she reminded my father twice how much to give. Later that night, I asked him why he gave all the cake away, and he said, I didn't give the whole thing. I said that he did, and that had no right, and he just ignored me. I brought up everything that I had been feeling, and he just waved me off, saying that he did what he could. We are not tight on money. He's looking at buying another new BMW. I told him that he ruined my birthday for the second time. First time was a whole another thing. And he ignored me. I said that I put the gift card back in his office and that he could keep it. I told my mother what happened and he came in and yelled at her for turning me against him. He said that he didn't even want to give me the gift card, and why should he have to give me a second gift when he pays for dinner? He only gave it because my mother mentioned that I put so much effort into celebrating them and I might be disappointed. I said he didn't have to get me a second gift, but giving me what I gave him at the last minute was rude. I did say shut up when he kept on speaking over me, and I know IDOWorkHereLady for that. He blamed my mother for the cake thing, and he claimed that she never told him to cut half. I said that I won't be celebrating Father's Day or his birthday. I'll say it, but no gift, cake, or dinner. He said, good, I don't care. In our country, we don't say happy birthday, but on his birthday at 11 a.m. he asked us, why didn't anyone wish me happy birthday? Also, there's a pricey concert ticket he wants, and he told my mother that he thinks I'm gonna buy it for him for Father's Day. I think it's unfair that he expects all this but won't reciprocate. I feel I might be the because it's just a birthday. I don't need a gift, but rejecting something that I gave him rubbed me the wrong way, and then saying that he didn't even want to get me a gift. Am I the a-hole? It sounds like there were some misunderstandings and hurt feelings on both sides, but it's important for your father to acknowledge your efforts and show appreciation. It's understandable to feel upset about the situation, but communication is key in resolving any misunderstandings and setting boundaries moving forward. Would I be the asshole for canceling my sister-in-law's engagement pictures because her fiancé is talking bad about me? Would I be the asshole for canceling my sister-in-law's engagement photos because her fiancé told my brother-in-law he can't stand me? So I, 29 years old female, am a photographer, and my sister-in-law, 21 years old female, let's call her Alyssa, and her 24 years old male fiancé Brandon had asked me to take their engagement photos. I initially agreed and was happy about it. I offered help with styling, scouted locations, and everything. Let me add here that Brandon had always seemed to just be the shy and quiet kid who kept to himself ever since he was introduced to us 2 years ago. I never had a clue he actually hates me and my husband. A lot. This isn't the first time I felt a little awkward tension between Brandon and I, but Alyssa let me know that he did like me and I was overthinking it. This was about a month ago now. My brother-in-law, 28 years old male, Cole, just called us to let me know about his weekend plans, asked to hang, the average conversation, but then was like, oh man, I gotta tell you that Brandon really let it be known that he can't stand you guys at dinner with everyone, and he really thinks you are the most annoying people in the family. Cole had also said that Brandon had mentioned that he was thankful that Cole and their dad were at least normal, unlike the rest of us who annoy the living heck out of him. So basically, the rest of us are trash. I am highly offended by this. This is the most blindsided I've ever been by someone who is actively seeking something for free from me. I am not just a freelance photographer, I am a luxury wedding photographer in a large city. This is my career and also someone who is going to be in my family. Brandon also had said some not so nice things about my husband while on this rant about us, and I'm having a hard time not making a phone call directly to the source to confront this. I will always defend my own, immediately, but must say I'm conflicted in causing family conflicts right before 2 large weddings are about to happen soon. Part of me feels extremely guilty and sad for Alyssa because I do like her. We've never been extremely sisterly or close, but she's always been sweet, and it really hurts that she was basically right there while Brandon sits letting everyone know that he has such a problem with us just days before this engagement session. I really don't think I could show up on Sunday and play pretend after hearing that I am so annoying and the worst to be around. Would I be the asshole for canceling this session while also letting her know that I would not have hurt feelings if they didn't want me there at all, as I am now uncomfortable to be around them? You would not be the asshole for canceling the session considering the disrespectful comments made by Brandon. It's important to set boundaries and prioritize your own well-being, especially when it comes to working closely with someone who has shown such blatant disdain towards you and your husband. It's understandable that this situation is challenging, but standing up for yourself and your values is crucial in maintaining a positive work environment and personal relationships. Am I the antagonist for refusing to organize anything for my boss's birthday? We work in hospitality. There are only 6 staff members. It's fallen onto my shoulders to organize things like birthday cards, retirements, etc. We usually do a collection from staff and our regular customers, buy a card, flowers, and a gift. I don't mind doing it. I like surprising people with a presentation of the gifts, etc. We don't do this for every birthday, just the big ones. In the last couple of years, we've had a staff member turn 60, one turn 30, and 2 retirements. We've always made a big fuss. I turned 40 last year. I took a week off to go away for a few days with family and then returned to work. My boss casually strolled past me and said, "Don't expect any cards or anything. We haven't done anything for you." I hadn't been expecting the effort I normally go to, but I did expect a card from them all. I spoke to my coworkers about what my boss had said, mainly because I thought it was really callous and cold. We all get along really well, and we're good friends, so it was a bit of a surprise. The most senior of my coworkers, female 61, told me that she doesn't know how to organize a card or a collection because that's my department, so she didn't do anything. I told her the least I expected was a card from everyone, and she said I'm no good at stuff like that, and that I'm the one who usually does that stuff, so it's unfortunate. She blamed my boss and said he should have done it. When I asked my boss why he hadn't done anything for me, he said it's my coworker's responsibility to organize something. He said he did think it was weird that they forgot, but said he's not here to remind them. Fast forward to this year. He tells me he's taking a month for his 50th later in the year, and that when he comes back, he expects to come back to a massive fuss. He's expecting a huge collection because he's the boss, so our customers should chip in lots for him. I told him I'm not having anything to do with organizing anything for him. Nobody made an effort for me, so I'm not making an effort for anyone else anymore. He said it's about giving and not taking, and that I'm being selfish, and that he'll be furious if nothing happens. I told him he'll be furious then. He said I shouldn't do things for other people because I expect things in return. I told him it was selfish of him to expect people to make an effort to celebrate him when he does nothing for other people. I told him that it wasn't about them not doing anything for me. I wouldn't have brought it up if he hadn't pulled me aside and told me that none of them had bothered. It's not like they forgot. They just chose to do nothing. He just keeps saying it's about giving and not receiving. I told him it's a bizarre thing to say by someone who never gives but always receives. He reminds me on a weekly basis of the stuff he wants. I keep telling him to speak to someone else. He thinks it's my job to remind someone else to do it. He thinks I'm just pretending I'm not doing anything. It sounds like you've been the celebration guru at work, orchestrating thoughtful gestures for your coworkers with a touch of flair. However, it's understandable that you felt overlooked on your own birthday, especially when the expectations seem one-sided and not reciprocated. Your boss's expectation of a grand celebration for his 50th, while dismissing your simple request for acknowledgement, does seem a bit off-key. But standing your ground on not getting involved in organizing may send a clear message about fairness in the office dynamics. Am I the antagonist for giving my family a silent treatment in response to my mom's silent treatment? The last Easter weekend at my mom's was a disaster. It's just me, my mom, and my grandparents. My mom would not get dressed into anything other than her house clothes for 3 days. She wouldn't talk to us almost at all. She'd just nod, make disappointed or disgusted faces and say as much as yeah whatever, yeah I don't know, yeah who cares. My grandma, her mom, tried to confront her, asking what's up, telling her we can all see she's not happy, that we're here if she needs us to talk. My mom would pretend she didn't hear. To be honest, my mom is moody and silent treatments are her thing, but I've never seen her display that in such a rude way, not only to me but also to her parents, and for that long. I'm not kidding when I say it was just me and my grandparents talking for 3 days. On the 3rd day, my grandparents planned to leave. They usually leave around 6 p.m.-ish. When it was 3 p.m., my mom started packing leftovers for everyone, as she usually does, but she'd never packed them so early. We were basically packed and ready to go at 3:30 p.m. Very unusual for my mom and very apparent that she doesn't want us there anymore. It's been 3 weeks. In the first week after that Easter weekend, my grandma would call me several times per day, and I told her to not call mom, that she really acted very bratty, and that she owes an apology and an explanation at least to her mother. Grandma agreed, but the second week she stopped calling me. By the second week after the Easter weekend, my mom wouldn't call me either. She texted me asking if I paid for her Netflix. I was floored. That was the first communication from my mom since 2 weeks. I decided to ignore that text and wait for her to call me. Since I ignored her text, 1 week has passed, 3 in total since Easter. Grandpa called me last week to ask me for advice on what bike to buy for my mom, and that I talked to her to try to get some ideas. I told him that my mom hasn't spoken to me in 2 weeks, to which he'd said, "Oh, shoot," and just ignored it. From that interaction, I assume that my grandma and my mom are talking again, and since mom is in touch with her, grandma won't call me either, as she's either siding with her or she just doesn't need me to talk to her anymore, as her daughter is back to that. I feel childish not talking to them, but it's happened in the past. My mom would give me the silent treatment and I'd still talk to her as if nothing happened, hoping she'd say something and explain herself. She'd not talk to me, and I'd still talk to her, eventually confronting her gently about why'd give me the silent treatment. She never apologized. She makes up reasons that are supposed to justify the awful feeling of being ignored, of being made feel guilty for no reason, of being a disappointment, of being bad support. Am I the asshole for using the silent treatment in response to their silent treatment? It sounds like your family dynamic during that Easter weekend was challenging and left you feeling ignored and hurt. While mirroring your mom's silent treatment may feel like a way to cope, it's important to communicate openly and address the underlying issues to prevent further misunderstandings or hurt feelings in the future. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.